Start. Up at the top, pause. I didn't give you the. Stephanie, we're ready for the prayer.
We call the benevolent beings of light, archangels, and ascended masters to guide and inspire us during this forum. Our forum's vision is to bring the understanding, tools, discipline, and support for those seeking to enter the straight and narrow path, the road less traveled, that will lead us along effectively and steadily through the ascension process. Integration of the human experience with our divine origin is moving us full circle to achieve our divine potential. So be it. Amen.
Amen.
We thank you for answering the call from on high to attend the forum. Let us join our hearts and minds in preparation to receive the blessings offered. We ask that you please release your day from your mind and center yourself, breathing in deeply and release. Breathe in deeply and release. Take a deep breath in and release. Relax the tension in your body and your mind. Now bring your full attention to the forum. Be fully present in order to receive and fully retain the discourse gifts.
The quote. Practice the pause. Pause before judging. Pause before assuming. Pause before accusing. Pause whenever you're about to react harshly, and you'll avoid doing and saying things you will later regret. Absolutely perfect practice. Thank you. Okay. Are you an old soul? Edgar Cayce, he was way beyond his time, really. He was an amazing man. I was going to buy his whole library. It was over $100, and at the time it wasn't going to work out so well, so I didn't. But then I realized I already know who I am. Do you? Do you know who you are, or do you know who everybody around you is? Do you give it thought? Not that you're an old soul, but who you are, the depth of you, the fears, the truth, the love, the heart, everything that makes up a person's personality. But beyond the personality, did you ever, like Edgar Cayce's comments were, did you ever open your mouth to say something and it was so profound, it was so beautifully stated that you shook your head? Who the heck was that? Your higher self comes through a lot. Sometimes it's not when you're talking to anyone. Sometimes it's when you're talking to yourself, when you're asking questions. I always share with you, ask questions inside. Ask them inside and trust that you will get the answer when you need it. When I started doing discourses many years ago, I was shaking in my boots before I went into the room because I wasn't allowed to have a script, not even notes. And I had to trust that I would be able to speak to the people that came to hear about such matters. And I was floored because I believed. I believed that I would be able to say what needed to be said. Jesus said, in the hour you need to know and to speak, you will be given everything you need. And that is the truth. I can tell you, you've experienced it, I'm sure, in your life, and we look forward to hearing about those times uh, in the questions and answers in segment 2. When you walk your path, you take shortcuts, you take, you know, you go door 1, door 2, door 3, and sometimes we get off track, and it's okay. There's no mistakes. You went off track because there was something you needed to learn in that experience. So don't ever let anybody judge you if you do something out of character or you go someplace that just seemed just not for you, and just wait it out. Your heart, you love people and you want to make sure they're safe and everything works out well for them. So just watch what happens and listen and just see if they fall, see if they stand taller, see what happens so that you're not interfering because it's karmic for you to try to save people. You're taking away their opportunities, you see? And people have done it for us too, out of compassion, out of love, sometimes just because they like to lead people around and they feel they know more and they have a right to guide you. On the other hand, there are people like me that sends you inside, lets you find your way with some guidance and understanding from my voice, what comes out of me and others that are on the videos, the music to have impact emotionally, and the quotes that I feel are bringing you to understand some very wise information. You're not always going to be like that. Anybody that hangs out with me knows I can be as silly as the next guy. I don't know everything, and I can remember, but when you come in with a certain personality, you have a library of reference that you're working with. And if you don't have that reference of material that comes up, uh, you will be hitting a wall. And be honest enough to say, I do not have that information referenced within my library, and or use whatever words you want to use. But this is really what it is. And then it would be for you to investigate if something triggers your interest. Okay. So deciding whether you're an old soul or not is not the crux of this session. What this is about is, have you felt the way that it was describing an old soul feels, moving through this world that is very difficult in many times because we have different interests. Our hearts are in a different place. I always hung out with elders. I thought they were so interesting. Their stories, what life was like before I was even born. I loved it. Yeah. And I didn't really hang out with kids my age when I was in school. I always hung out with the seniors when I was a freshman. And it's because I liked them. They had their head together better than the younger kids. Um, so if you feel that you are still a young soul because of your desires to be known, to be famous, to be rich, to all the earthly pleasures that are there, don't feel sad. Really, if that's still something that you need, go right ahead until you get to a point where you say, you know what? I really don't need anything of the earth. I don't need to sell my soul to have things that other people have. It will come to you what you need. And then once your needs and your wants align themselves, the pleasure of that is absolutely stunning. You're at peace no matter if you're eating uh, cereal every night because things are a little tough, or whether you're having filet mignon at a fine restaurant. It doesn't hit you anymore. That is not where your pleasure is. Your pleasure, your pleasure is the silence, the peace that you have inside you. And when things happen around you, you see it and you don't try to close your eyes and turn your back on it. Look at it when it hurts and when it feels good, because you're witnessing something that is moving your emotions. And that is the way we continue our ascension process. Once you learn to feel on the deepest levels of your being, and that's when you're making progress. And when you convince yourself, I'm okay, or I'm not hurt, even though you can see it in their eyes and their body movement, and they're all teared up, they're not fine. But we try to what? Look strong. That's not strength to me anymore. I used to think it was. I don't have to be strong. If I feel sad, I cry. I don't care who's watching. I'm not doing it for them. I can't hold it back anymore. Can you? If you see someone suffering, it's a time for you to feel compassion for them. You know what it's like to suffer. We all do. Send them light. Send them light. It's the greatest gift you can give them. It changes their life because they have the strength to carry on, not to fix them, to give them the strength to go through whatever it is they wrote into their plan for this lifetime, because there's things they want to finish up, maybe not consciously aware that that had to happen in order for me to feel on a deeper level. Once you get it, you don't hold back with anything. You allow yourself to feel the way you do whenever things come up. And what do you do with it? You let it express itself so that it can go bye-bye. You don't need to hang on to it anymore. Depression is not a condition. It is us holding back our emotions that are pounding to get out. And you're depressing it. You're holding it back because you don't want to go there. I didn't either at one time. And then after I practiced allowing my feelings to come up and be absolutely 1000% honest with myself, that's when my world changed. And you gain power in what you say as a result of this, because you didn't let it take you out. You handled it. You took care of the emotion, the pain, the suffering, the joy, everything. That is mastery. And you don't have to have those lessons again. Then you go to a different frequency and start working on that frequency. It isn't so much, people call it timelines. It isn't that really. What it is you're working on levels of frequency that you're raising up to. I must have had something happen because this morning was the craziest morning I've had in a while. And so I just dealt with it. I watched everything happening, dropping everything all over the floor and spilling my pillbox, and everything else that was happening. And at first I said, "Oh, for heaven's sakes." And then I just said to myself, just pick it all up. And it was all kind of in one spot. It was very easy to do. You don't need to get angry. You don't need to react to anything. Just breathe. Ask for help and you'll get it. It's wild. And the more you do it, the more you trust it. Um, a little advice that in another segment that I had seen a long time ago, Edgar Cayce said, "Don't wait for anybody to save you, kiddo. You save yourself. Nobody's going to save you. No one's going to make it easy. When you beg God, oh, take away my pain, take away my suffering, take away my conditions. Uh, that happened as solidified energy from not allowing it to pass through you and go away. That, in its essence, is mastery when you do this. You see? When you feel all grumpy, you have one of those days, stop and center yourself. Gather yourself together. Feel the quiet once you do this. Don't depend on beings outside you for everything. Start having a relationship with your higher self. That's who you really are. That's who is bringing to you what you wrote into your plan and can help you tremendously to get through. Once in a while, there are other beings that you call because their essence will bring you help with what you need. So if you have a book that has the stories of the archangels and the great beings of light that are working in this dimension and working on other dimensions that are serving this planet and this universe, read about them. It'll really help you understand what they stand for, what they mastered, and what they can bring to you to help you. It's so interesting. I've been really doing some reading and in just small paragraphs to really sink it in. I don't like to read like a book when I'm reading something so interesting and so exceptionally beautiful that can help with everything that I do. And I hope that you give it the time that it needs to in order to find out who these beings are. They're really, really real, and they're very much with you. And each of us do have quite a few angels and great masters that are working with us. That we have a lot of the same ascended masters working with this group that comes on each week. It's quite beautiful to recognize that. Because of so many rounds that you've been in bodies. And when you're on the other side, on the inner planes, um, you've been in classes learning a lot about things that you want to remember from other experiences, whether it's here on this planet, on other planets, other universes, wherever you've been spending a lot of time. I would say this group has been spending a lot of time on this planet. This is a tough school. This is graduate school. And that's why there's so many millions of people that have reincarnated here because they absolutely want to send as much as they can before 2032 when it's expected that those that had signed up to graduate into the 5D world will be going there, and a lot of people that are here are young souls that need the experience, and it's not anything that we should judge. They're learning just like we did. It's just a chapter in their life, and we should give respect to everybody. It's scary to watch them, but you should have seen what we did. Nothing easier, just a different scenario, you see? So, in order for you to come to terms with where you're at, being a more experienced soul in density and on the inner planes, believe me, a lot of you are working at night on the inner planes. You're helping the great masters to work with crowds of people who are not yet awake, but yet are wishing to and signed a contract to learn as much as they can while they're here. Okay. So, in my experience, it's not like you just keep going on a progression up, 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 and don't go through things that you think you should not be going through anymore. And when I counsel people and they say that to me, I feel like I've gone backwards. I'm not having the great experiences that I had. Well, that's okay. What are you having? What experience are you having? And then when they tell me, I say, well, that was exactly what you needed, obviously, or you wouldn't have had that experience. Sometimes it's real tough ones. Sometimes and so when it's personal, it really, you feel it. You feel it like all the way to the depths of your soul. These are the days that are going to bring us sometimes to our knees if we fight the process. Other times, if you just go with it and watch how it unfolds for you, don't judge it as good or bad. Don't judge it. Just walk on your path. Know what you want out of this life. Know who you want to be with. People tell me they have to be with their family, they have to be with this one and that one. You don't have to do anything. If you're not getting the love and camaraderie and enjoyment of being with people, step away. Step away because you need a rest. You need a rest. If they're abusing you verbally, if they're not on the same page as you, step away and pray for them. When I say pray for them, I mean send them light. Help them to awaken rather than judge it as good or bad. But you don't have to stay in it. And it only brings you down. It brings down your energy. Some people actually crash, and they've got to go quite a ways to find their way out of that stage. You have more power than you could ever imagine. It's unbelievably true. And when you feel the weakness, it's because you need to center yourself. You need to bring yourself to a place where you're quiet, out of the noise, out of the situation, and just breathe. Ask your higher self, what would be the best thing I need to do? Usually it's to just sit and breathe. Get yourself centered. It is the place, the 0 point, which we're going to learn more about. In your hearts, there is no stress. There's nothing wrong. Everything is beautiful and holy. That's why when you center yourself, you enter into that sacred space within your heart where there is no noise, nobody saying anything to disturb you or to take you out of this place that you want to be for a while. I call it R&R. It isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional as well. A lot of you carry a lot of people on your shoulders, and it's weighing you down. So rather than take them onto your shoulders, send them so much light every day. It doesn't have to be some long, drawn out light treatment. Just send them light. When you say it in yourself and you concentrate on it, you will feel it moving through you. I use my hands and they start to vibrate and tingle. I know that light is leaving my hands and going where I sent it. The light that you carry, the signature that you have in this world, is a tone and a color, probably like a rainbow right now, because you've been working with all of the different rays. You've worked on them to learn everything that you wanted to learn. The things that you haven't mastered yet, you can still go on in 5D and do the mastery. It's just going to be a little different than it is here, because here we can manage it much faster because of the way that the matrix was set up. You hit yourself square between the eyes when you do something or feel something or projected something to somebody else. There is no space in between anymore. It comes right back to you. And it gives you that instant understanding. Whoosh, look at how I lost it. I thought I mastered that. Don't beat yourself up. Just do better. Do better. Send light to the person. I had stuff to say to my kids because of things that are going on, and I didn't need to be with them. I just started to talk to them, and they were answering me. That was what was happening this morning. I didn't get a chance to tell you that. And but it was quite remarkable. I mean, I connect with them from my heart to send them love. But this was different. We were having a conversation and they're still in their bodies, obviously. So there's nothing you can't do except what you don't believe you can do. You are unlimited, unlimited in your abilities, in your love, in your knowledge, in your life, living that life that you came in to finish your contracts, to pay off your karma. These are the things that move you up. Now, when you reach another increment, it's a little confusing. You're a little clumsy. Everything feels a little different. And don't worry about it, because you've done this so many times and you're going to find yourself being able to recover your balance very quickly. Uh, just breathe and not go into a fear state that what is going on kind of thing. Nothing bad. Everything is good. Everything. The most wonderful thing that I learned is this: you never go through an experience that you don't need. Remember that. So if something happens, it was necessary for whatever purpose it would serve, that your higher self knew it would bring you to understand yourself better and be able to move forward in your learning, in your ascension. So once you take care of things, instead of putting it in, you know how they say you kick the can down the road and just say, no, I don't want to deal with that right now. Don't do that anymore. We really need to take care of everything as it happens. That's the grace. Otherwise, you got to go through another episode with that same energy frequency. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to do that twice. Okay. So it's not that you're slow learners. You're doing great. You're doing wonderful. I used to say that all the time about myself. Why do I always have to talk about certain things over and over. Did I not get it yet? Maybe I heard myself this time. So I used to call myself a slow learner. However, at this point, we're all really, I could see it from your fields. You change every week when I see you. I can't see Teresa because she doesn't turn her camera on, and she really should. So I could see the glory of her beautiful light. Being here together, we raise each other up. If Stephanie had an ascension of something that she mastered, she's in a different frequency and she's sharing it with all of you. The same with Robin or Barbara or anybody on this call. We help each other when we connect like this. Because if you think distance, it changes things, it doesn't. The physical distance doesn't mean anything. We're actually together right now in each other's fields. We are. So the beauty of life is that it's absolutely precisely what we need. Even in the toughest events, the things that you feel like you're going to crumble from experiencing it. And yes, go with the emotions of it because it's helping you to clean out the house. And I don't mean the physical house out there. I mean this house. Clean it up. Get so much light in you that your words start having tremendous power. And it's always when you have worked through something that you struggled with before, and now you're not struggling. And then when we get to the next segment, I want to hear what you realize you've been doing that you couldn't pull off before to save your life. Okay? So, yeah, it's time to go to the next segment. Anybody that's been listening tonight on YouTube, I want you to please join us so that you can be on all three segments, 1, 2, and 3. We do so much that you don't get to see. You don't get to see the video either, or you do get to see the quote. I think it's posted in the underneath the title where it says more. And the song is usually so beautiful. So join us at ourdivineorigin.com on YouTube, and you can get to see the past videos and this one as well. God bless you, and God bless each person that comes here. I really appreciate your attention and your love. We're learning together. We're rising up together, and we're going to do this like masters. Thank you. To comment. This song was so beautiful to me. I can. If you really felt the words and felt the music, it just, if you believe whatever you believe, it will be so for you. It's in that belief and faith that you will be okay, that you can go through this life and and ascend as a result. We're not here to be in pain, but certain circumstances bring up emotions. And that's very important. We get to know ourselves much better because we're honest with ourselves. So believe and have faith because you can get through this. You've done it enough times. Thank you so much. Look how smooth. So, during the question and answers and the discourse, we came to understand a little bit about being an old soul, a young soul. And you know what? In a way, I realize, does it matter? Because we're going to play different parts and we're going to find ourselves as if we're the young soul, even though we have the ability to be an old soul when we write that into our script. Okay? Your experience in this lifetime is what we're going to talk about. The hearts that are on this forum, it just so beautiful and so holy to listen to you realize who you are. Realize that you're not here to fight or to change anyone, but from your life experiences that you can make a difference in somebody's life. Someone struggling, someone that just doesn't get it yet because they're not ready to get it. But if you have gotten it and you speak to them, something magical happens. It really is magical because you bring the wisdom that you have gained through your actions to someone who is struggling. You don't try to make them do it, you just suggest it. And if you see something that they respond to, God bless you for what you did, because that's why we're here. That's why we're here, to be available as the light, to be available as the love, and to be available as the truth. And it's the truth as you know it, right? And as you go along, you'll have enough light in you where you will know universal law in your heart because it's only based on love. You don't need to know the 109 or whatever it is laws. You just base your actions, your words, and your situations on love. Now, that doesn't mean you give in. That doesn't mean you can't say the truth. None of that is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you being genuine. You came together with whoever you're with each day for more reasons than just you work together, or more reasons that you meet at a place where you happen to be out that night. I'm telling you, it's to see yourself in others, to recognize what you do, because we don't half the time know what we do. And it's so perfect to see somebody acting it out outside us and say to ourselves, whoa, there I am. There I am. That's living consciously. You see, there are going to be times when you are not going to do your best, but it's perfect, believe it or not, because whatever you wrote into your script had to be played out that way. You see, it's really interesting. And when I see it happen, even at what I've been working at this, how many years since I've been a kid, really, 19, I guess, or 18. Although I used to talk to God or whoever that was when I was 9 years old. I was living in a haunted house. Yeah, I really was. Stephanie would have had a ball. And it was George Washington's ghost was there. It was really an experience I didn't know what to do with. Anyway, we're not talking ghosts tonight. So the experiences that you have, honestly, when you're on track and you're really working your way out of all of the misery, all of the confusion, all of the things you know, oh my God, I can't keep doing this. I feel like I'm going nuts. And you focus on it to cleanse it. You give yourself the peace that passes understanding because nobody can give it to you. You know, that movie where he said, oh, she completes me? Yeah, right. You complete yourself. You complete yourself. There's nobody out there that's going to complete you, but they certainly can help you see yourself. It doesn't matter, male, female, doesn't matter. It's the actions, the words, the behavior, all of that. Why? Why does things happen that make me feel like I'm slipping off the path and spiraling down? It's when I lose faith in myself, when I do not believe in all of this wonder that we talk about, all the masters and archangels and angels and fairies and all these things are real. And all the elementals that are keeping the plants and the trees and the mountains just in our viewer because they hold that concept. You see? You have to hold your concept for you. When you were a baby, your mother and father were given the task to hold the immaculate concept of their child without even knowing it, to see them grown up and successful and happy and out on their own, living their life. That's the immaculate concept. And so people like me who were aware that that was my job, it didn't mean that I was always the perfect mother because there were contracts that had to be fulfilled that she wasn't too happy about. And my daughter and my son, he didn't give me much reason to be stressed at all. But now he does as a grown adult. Very stressful. But you know what? Everything is okay. I look at it, I don't judge it, I just experience it and feel what it feels like. If I feel sad, what do? I cry. I cry. Charlie gets all upset. Oh my God, she's crying. I gotta fix this. No, no, I'm real. You see, I'm real and honest. I allow myself to feel and go through it just the way it hits me. And when I come out the other side, oh my God, it's such a shift in everything. You understand it so much better afterwards. Because when you're going through it, that is not a time to try to be intellectually analyzing anything. It's after the fact when you turn around and you sit with it and look what you went through and how it panned itself out, how everything worked out. I always ask for help. It's such a big thing to do. People go, oh, I don't know, they're busy up there. Are you kidding me? The only thing they live for is to serve. And that's how I feel. My life is service. I love it. I love it. Does that mean I don't take care of myself? I take very good care of myself. But I love what I do. I don't want any position. I don't want any money. I don't want anything except friendship and love and appreciation from the people that I love and that are in my life. That's all. And that's everything. To me, that's everything. You see? And this is when you start to realize I am not being dragged into the 3D and anchored here because none of this is interesting to me anymore. You see? You come to the point where there's nothing out there that you have this deep desire. Okay, if you need a new car like me, that's my car's as old as my grandson, and Charlie's truck is from 1995, uh, that's not being in some kind of state that isn't normal. We need new vehicles because we can't have them break down. So don't judge what goes on. Just deal with it. See? So that you say to yourself, oh, that wouldn't be an old soul. That wouldn't happen if I was an old. No, no, no. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to play many, many roles in people's lives and in your own. So if you are measuring it up to old soul, young soul, it's not computing, believe me. It has nothing to do with it. Just be you. Just be you. When I'm with somebody that's trying to be somebody else to impress, oh gosh, it's like, get me out of here. Get me out of here. I send tons of light and I don't stay. I don't stay because I start to feel bad and then I feel worse because they're struggling and I can feel all the feelings going on inside them and it gets a little painful. So Be the light bearer, share the light, and go on your way and live your life. Find out, who am I? Who am I? That's the biggest question. And you are God in action. You are expressing God. And when you don't, you feel it and it upsets you terribly. You just let yourself express as it comes out. You never know why. And it's not important. What's important is that you're authentic. Yeah. And are you an old soul? Oh boy, oh boy. All of this experience that all of us here have had is remarkable. Just remarkable. We have been everywhere, every nationality, every religion, every, just to get understanding of what it's like to be someone else. What's it like to be in that environment? What's it like? I love all the cuisines, so I know I've been in every country in the world. There's no food that I don't like. Can you tell? But I know I've been around the block, and I've had deja vu where I literally am locked into a place where I couldn't move because I was reliving whatever happened in that particular portal. Yeah. And you're going through this too, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. The grace of God is within you. You are blessed every moment of your life. Believe it, feel it, remind yourself of it, and live accordingly. God bless you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being on. We're going to go into segment 3, and we have an assignment. It's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Barbara, for helping us to navigate this 3D, 5D transition and making it make more sense to us. So thank you so much for your wisdom. We are going to read a closing prayer before the guided meditation. So please remain muted. We are deeply grateful for this forum. We thank those in attendance for your attention, your wonderful questions, future topic suggestions, and stories that touched our hearts and opened our minds to new possibilities. Our collective energy has filled this forum with light and love for each other. We are so grateful that each of us brings guides and angelic beings to the forum, raising the frequency even higher. We are grateful for the assistance, inspiration, and guidance from the benevolent beings overseeing the forum. Know that we are all deeply loved and richly blessed. Amen.
Amen.
We invite all of you to remain for the guided meditation. However, if you need to sign off, please unmute, say blessings, good wishes, and good night to each other.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
God bless.
Who's staying on? Everybody here?
Mm-mm.
Okay. No? Christine,
No,
you're
I got
tired?
some. Yeah.